How's it going, guys? I'm Sean from Peak 44, and today we're going to be going over how to swap out your standard stock with our new Bastion stock with Magpul inletting. So first off, you're going to need a few things. A scrap piece of cardboard to mix your bedding compound, your mold release, which is going to make sure that your action doesn't get stuck in your new stock, your bedding compound. Here we're using acrylic glass, which is a two-part. You're going to need a couple popsicle sticks to mix up your bedding compound, some Q-tips for cleanup, a screwdriver with the appropriate bit for your action screws, and a torque driver set for your specific torque amount. So now that our rifle is in our vise, we're going to start off by loosening and taking out our action screws. So with our action screws loosened, we're going to take out our bottom metal that's going to be reused on our new stock. And we'll take our old stock off, set it off to the side for now. So now just our barreled action, we're going to start prepping our surfaces. We're going to take our mold release and give it a good healthy spray. This is all to ensure that the bedding compound doesn't adhere to actual metal, and it only molds around it. So with that sprayed, we're going to take our piece of cardboard and our two-part bedding compound. And for acrylic glass, if you use the same thing, it's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio. So basically, about the same amount of each item. So that looks about right to me, and then you're just going to mix it up on your piece of cardboard. So it all becomes one even compound. So now that it's all mixed together, we're going to get our new stock. What we're going to do is we're going to fill in this recess for your recoil lug with a good amount of this bedding compound. So just using that same popsicle stick, just going to take some and get it in there. Don't need a whole lot. Most of that area is going to be taken up by your recoil lug, but you want to make sure to fill in as much as it's possible. Whatever's excess is just going to squirt out, and then you'll clean it up afterwards. All right, now that that recoil lug has a good amount of the compound in it, I'm going to set this stock down to the side real quick. What I like to do is take a Q-tip, take a little bit of the fuzz off, just so it can fit in your action screw hole. And then you're going to soak this with the mold release as well. So what this is going to do is I'm going to put this in the action screw hole. This is going to keep any bedding compound from getting in, just to make sure. So, and then a quick spray of the mold release on your front action screw. And you're all set. We're going to put the stock on, line it up with the Q-tip, and just slowly guide it down. All right. Getting lined up. Pull our Q-tip out. All right, Q-tip's out. Now we're going to put our bottom metal on. Tighten up our action screws. All right, then we're going to torque it down with our torque wrench. All right, all torqued on. We're going to flip it over. Make sure we don't have any bedding compound leaking out the top. If you do, you're just going to take your Q-tip, wipe it up right there. You can use a rag as well. I just find that Q-tips are a little easier. All right, guys, so here we are one day later. We're gonna take the stock off the barreled action, inspect our work, make sure the bedding is right, and clean up any of the mold release that's still left over. So today we're going to need our screwdriver and torque bit. Once we're done, we're just going to lefty-loosey these action screws. And take our bottom metal off and take our stock off. All right. So what we're looking for is that the recoil lug area has nice solid contact with all the bedding compound. There's not any large gaps or anything like that in there. As you can see, we have some extra mold release that's still on there. So we're going to just take a shop rag, dry that up, get it out of there, and also wipe down our barreled action so we're not leaving all that liquid on our action. All right, pretty dry now. So, bedding job looks good. No gaps or anything like that. So we're good to reassemble it. Putting it right back where it was. Push it down. Then we're taking our Magpul bottom metal. Putting that on. Getting these action screws finger tight. And then we'll come in with our torque wrench and torque them down properly. All right, we're all torqued on. Then as always, anytime you do any sort of modifications to your firearm, make sure to run through it through any safety checks and function checks. Make sure it's operating properly. So today we've been using this Bastion Stock, now available with our Magpul bottom metal that allows you to use your AICS pattern magazines. It's really handy if you want to upgrade, like we were today, your Weatherby 307 XPs to our Bastion Stock. We have this and many other options available at peak44.com.